It's a very funny situation actually. The way I came to work on tugs is I used to go around with 5 lads, and we were all 16. Coming out of the teddy boy era, I suppose. One of them got a job on the tugs, and I found that when we used to go out of a night and have a few things, he used to talk the most about his job, and I thought I'd like to do that. So I came down and got interviewed and got taken on. And I was taken on as holiday relief. I was only supposed to be there while the holidays were on, and that was 44 years ago. So, I suppose they can get rid of me any time they wanted, if they wanted to. Like, I'm only here temporarily. Started on coal tugs and progressed through oil tugs and diesel tugs. Worked in the North Sea, Mediterranean, west coast of Africa, Liverpool, and all the coasts around the port. The old man of the sea, I think. When I started on tugs, there was 62 tugs on the river. There's 11 now. There were 20,000 dockers, a couple of thousand staff in the dock board. Now there may be 200 dockers. Don't know how many staff in the dock board, maybe a couple of dozen now, I think. The shipping has changed dramatically. It's all bulk. It's containers, coal, scrap, oil, timber, grain. But the tonnage is the same that comes into the port, very nearly the same as it comes into the port now as there was when it was 26,000 dockers. So someone's made some money along the way, I think. Men who work here are good men. They've all worked together. We've all grown up together. And my crew, the mate I've known for, I don't know, 15 years, and he's one of the junior men. Well, it's always nice to be home, isn't it? When you're on the Mersey, you're close to home, and that's probably the best place to be. You get a good living, so you've got to be thankful you've got a job, I suppose. I think the old stigma of Liverpool has gone. I think the press gave us a bad time in the 80s, but I think we've worked out of that now. I think we deserve to be posted with the rest of the other cities, likes of Manchester and London. I think we've got as much to offer as any of them, probably more. I think the Liverpool people have as well.
When I started, I think it was like 6 men a tug, and we had the old style tugs when I started. I think we've got all the modern ones now. It's only 3 men a tug, and it's a lot more safety orientated now when it was when I started. It was just get on with it, you know, there's your boat and go and do it. I mean, it has its hairy moments in the winter when you're sitting there at 4 in the morning and it's freezing and you think, what am I doing here? But the fellas here are great. You come to work and you have a good laugh at work, you know, and I know a lot of other jobs you don't get that because you've got a boss looking over you all the time, which isn't the case. Like Tony's my direct boss, and it's like a mate, you know what I mean? You don't get no hassle off him about anything, so that side of it's really good. Like, it's always good if you've been away to come back to Liverpool. It's one of the best sights you can ever see is if you've been away to sea and you've been seasick and everything. You're coming down the Mersey, you can see the larger buildings and stuff like that, and you know you're getting close, and that's one of the best things you can see. You start to feel a bit better then because you know you're going to be on dry land in about half an hour. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
For the last 30 years, my main interests have been the River Mersey and Liverpool Bay. I became a marine scientist because the whole of my family were interested in the sea. Relatives were either fishermen or with the lifeboat and Coast Guard service. So when I became interested in science, it was a natural progression to get into marine science. When I first started sailing on the Mersey, it was just totally full of sewage, and it was part of the local folklore that it was one of the most polluted rivers in the world. The conditions were allegedly so bad, you'd be poisoned before you'd ever be drowned. If you walk along the banks or sail in little boats, the thing you don't see now is all the crude sewage in the water. Now, that was an obvious aesthetic thing. There'd be debris in the water, there'd be horrible things washed up on beaches, and that's now history. The Mersey is what's known in the business as a high energy system. This means it has a very large tidal range and very strong currents. The thing that it does do is make the water look very turbid. A lot of mud is stirred up by the tide, and therefore it's always going to look fairly brown and muddy. It's not going to be like a Norwegian fjord or a lake in the Lake District. You know, naturally it's muddy and it's going to look brown. It really was a mess when I was a small child or when I started working. And now I believe it's an asset to the region, and you can enjoy it by walking alongside it, watching birds, sailing on it, doing any of these things. And I think it's something we should all celebrate.